LiveWire are selling police bikes. Watch this video. Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. So hot off the press here, LiveWire Motorcycles, a subsidiary of Harley-Davidson, the all-electric brand, as we know, they are going to be selling, or they are selling, police motorcycles or police electric motorcycles off the S2 Del Mar variant and also all the model, and also the S2 Alpinista model as well. So how many are they going to sell? Well, they've basically sold two or three motorcycles to a police department in Florida, St. Cloud, I believe it is. This is what the reporters come out. And they're hoping to market these around the world and also to other police departments in the US. I can see there's a market there, actually. I can see there's going to be a market for police departments who are running urban stations, let's say, and they need something to get around, two-wheeled mobility that's quick, that's silent. I always thought this about any motorcycle or any, let's just say when you watch something, you know, a fictional TV program, and, you know, let's say, I don't know, bikers, you know, they roll up on their Harley Davidsons making all this noise, and you think, well, you're not very stout-like. It's the same for motorcycles, you know, who are roaring their engines just to, you know, creep up on somebody. It just doesn't quite work. It works in the movies, but if you look at it, you think, no, that doesn't quite work. Well, here you've got the perfect vehicle, haven't you? You've got electric motorcycles who are basically, they're silent. They can run silent. You can creep up on your thieves and your criminals, and then you just slap the old handcuffs on, and that's it. Robert's your father's brother. But how many of these bikes are they going to sell? Because they're still going to be quite expensive. And you think, well, if it's electric you're after, then surely there are other brands available. Now, for the US market, you would imagine that the police departments, if they are going to go for this silent running type of policing on two wheels, especially in urban areas, then you're looking at, well, possibly two motorcycle manufacturers. You've got LiveWire and you've probably got Zero. Those are, I would say, the only two that I could think of that would really be in a position to mass produce motorcycles. Now, when we talk about mass producing motorcycles, they're not mass producing anything. They're probably mass producing the hype. They're probably mass producing, you know, what they potentially can give. But they don't actually produce a lot of motorcycles. I mean, you know, LiveWire as a company are still hardly selling anything really in terms of numbers. I mean, I think, you know, we're talking in the hundreds. Maybe they may have hit 1,000 units last year, which is it's not a lot in terms of a motorcycle manufacturer, especially when you're considering the likes of Harley-Davidson as their parent company. But they are just minnows when you compare them to the likes of Honda, as I explained in a previous video as well. So how many motorcycles are they going to be producing? You would imagine they're going to be trying to push these out a lot. And on the face of it, it sounds like a really good idea for police departments, especially in built-up areas, to be having police bikes. I can see it. I get it completely. I'm just not sure that this bike is really going to be... I'm not sure that police motorcycles or motorcyclists are going to be a thing of the future. We've seen it here in the UK, the decline of police motorcycles or the decline of motorcycles in public services. Let's say for the ambulance service, let's say for police as well. They're not used as much as they probably once were. In certain areas, yes, they are, but certainly not all year round, and maybe the weather has a lot to do with it. I could see this really being used in warmer climates in the United States, but when you got big seasonal variations, I'm not sure they're going to be used that much either. Look, fair play to LiveWire for producing these police issue bikes. You know, the hype is there. They're going to be trying to pump these all around. They've got precedents now. They've got a test case, if you want to choose those words, or if I want to choose those words, because they've sold a couple of bikes to a police department. Maybe they can replicate it, and fair play to them if they can. I just don't think that this is a big shot in the arm for them in terms of big sales. I just think it's almost like a tiny little statistic, if you will, a tiny little unit reference that they can pin their hat on and say, oh, look, we've sold police motorcycles. But how many have you sold? And that's the thing. They've come out with all these different models. I think they got 4 motorcycle models: the LiveWire, the S2 Del Mar, the S2 Mulholland, and the S2 Alpinista. If I'm missing a couple, please let me know. But, you know, you got 4 motorcycles, you're hardly selling any of them. In fact, people, you know, in the Harley-Davidson world have pretty much turned their noses up and turned their backs on the whole electrification thing. Harley-Davidson got their own issues, of course, but LiveWire as a concept in terms of selling electric bikes at an affordable price, that's the key thing here, isn't it? The electric motorcycle market is great for those small, low-powered urban scooter-type motorcycles, and the big motorcycle manufacturers from Japan are sort of jumping on that now, and they're selling like hotcakes. And that's where I always thought the strength of this market was. But when you're selling motorcycles at, you know, $15,000 shekels each, then it's got to be something pretty special. And when they're even more expensive than that, 20,000, 25,000, whatever the case is, then, you know, then you've got a bit of an issue, especially when the likes of Energica and Cake, and there was another motorcycle manufacturer, electric motorcycle manufacturers, that went bust in 2024 as well. Then obviously, you know, they're on sketchy ground as it is. But listen, for now, they're selling a couple of police bikes. Fair play to them. If you like what I do here, just keep on watching the videos. And don't forget to check out the website, RevelatorAlf.com/books for the motorcycle books that I am selling there. You can catch them on Amazon as well. And all the other motorcycle books and lifestyle books and occupational books there as well. Right. Catch you on the next video whenever it is. If you like what I do here, just keep on watching the videos. Bye now.